Peace. How's it going, Patrick? Conservative Rap, and let's talk about geopolitics. Let's talk about the EU, UK, etc., and where America would be today without Donald J. Trump. You can see from some of the shootings happening in Australia, etc., that their goal is to disarm the populace, even when it makes no sense completely. But let's just get into some of what's happening and go from there. Yeah, boom. Here's Basil the Great on X. Now, he put out that Australia, France, and Germany have now canceled their usual New Year celebrations. We all know why, but we're not allowed to say. So this has been corrected. I think they've done some fireworks or some like modified events, but again,
has all been canceled because the French government can no longer keep its own people safe from potential radical Islamic terrorists that they have welcomed into their country.
Right.
Think about that. France has let in so many Middle East and North African migrants that they can no longer assemble in crowds.
Right.
We're watching one of the most beautiful countries and cultures in the world commit suicide. And this threat has now spread all over the West. This is not singular to Australia or France. It is everywhere now, including in Germany, where many are too scared to go to the country's many famous Christmas markets because they are now so dangerous. They're such a target for radical Islamists. Take a listen to the details from this report.
Terrorists have struck 7 European Christmas markets since 2014, 3 in France and 4 in Germany, all carried out by men of Muslim or Middle Eastern backgrounds. Authorities arrested 5 men suspected of planning attack number 8 in Germany last week. One of them, a Muslim cleric from a German mosque who urged his followers to kill as many people as possible.
Yeah. Attack number 8 foiled. There was another attack in Poland on a Christmas market foiled as well. The one in Germany, a Muslim cleric that left Egypt to move to Germany, moving to a country which tolerantly allows him to work at a mosque, to have a mosque. And what does he do when he gets to Germany and he's saved by the West? He begins indoctrinating other Muslims to murder as many Christians as they possibly can. Going to a German Christmas market at this point is a bit like playing Russian roulette. Is today the day that one of our asylum seekers living off our tax dollars is going to plow his car through this market and kill 20 of us? We don't know.
This is fantastic, and it's disgusting. Now, you tell me how much more of this needs to happen before people wake up and take back their country. I think we're on the cusp right now, and I'm just happy to be alive to see us take things back to where they need to be. Elon on X, UK is prison land. Holy ish, the UK is going full police state. Not only are they getting rid of jury trials, they plan to allow magistrates to sentence people for up to 2 years without trial. Check this out.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm going to do my best to get an answer, but I'm not sure I'm going to get one based on the 2 we've just heard. Without any kind of mandate, the government wants to do away with jury trials, and it wants to extend the powers of magistrates to sentence people for up to 2 years without any right to appeal, conviction, or sentence. Can she confirm that last year, of 5,000 cases appealed from magistrates' courts, more than 40% were upheld? Is it the government's policy to simply live with this number of miscarriages of justice?
Again, people waking up, civilizational reawakening across the globe. Also from Bleeping Computer, Denmark blames Russia, of course, for a destructive cyber attack on a water utility. All right. Also, similarly from Sky News, foreign offices have been hacked. Ministers fairly confident that individual data not at risk. If they were hacked, how do they know? Chris Bryant says the breach was in October, but he can share remarkably little because investigations take a long time. He won't confirm whether or not the hackers were Chinese.
The Foreign Office, can you confirm that that's happened?
So there certainly has been a hack at the FCDO, and we've been aware of that since October. And just as you will have been reporting earlier on this year on the cyber hack at JLR and at Marks and Spencer's, and earlier last year, I think it was, at the British Library, all of these are really important things for us to tackle and be aware of and prevent wherever possible. Some of the reporting has, I think, been a bit more speculation than accurate.
So what can you tell us facts-wise?
Remarkably little is the honest truth. I mean, there is a hack.
So I'm not going to let this go on, but we know where the agenda is going. And in my mind, how confident can he be if they just got hacked? It's self contradictory. But you can see with all of this, this is what causes them to go after Trump, because his policies are preventing a lot of this from coming here. Let's continue on. Share this trap. Ukraine strikes Chinese oil tanker in the Mediterranean Sea. The drones were launched allegedly from Greece. The SBU published footage showing Ukrainian drones striking the shadow oil tanker Quendel in the neutral waters of the Mediterranean Sea. So I'm going to mute this, but play it, right? NATO openly helps to attack Chinese ship that transports Russian oil. Chinese oil tanker Quendel previously unloaded at the Indian port of Sika and was on its way to the Russian Baltic Sea port of Ust-Luga in Leningrad Oblast to get more oil, presumably. So again, the warmongers are pushing their usual narrative. You also may have noticed this separately. Putting on frozen Russian assets, which happened recently. Theft is not the right definition for this. Theft is secret. Here it's done in the open, so it's burglary. The consequences are very serious for burglars. Let's take a listen.
So theft is not the great definition for this. Theft is a secret theft of the assets. Here it's done in the open, so it's burglary. Why are they not managing to perpetrate this burglary? Because the consequences are very serious for the burglars. So theft is not the great definition for this. Theft is a secret.
Again, and then just moving on to Alexei Berezutsky, the Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban. Seizing Russian assets and transferring them to Ukraine is a declaration of war. Taking money from one side and giving it to the other would directly draw the EU into the conflict and should not be allowed.
He wants more guarantees for the front.
Guarantees for what? The whole idea is a stupid one. To take away the money of somebody. There are two countries which are in war, yeah? It's not European Union, Russia and Ukraine. And somebody, European Union, would like to take away the money of one of the warriors parties and then to give it to another one. It's a marching into the war. So the Belgian Prime Minister is right. We should not do that.
He wants more guarantees.
Yeah, and you got to think about it. Just think about like a bully at school, right? Like the bully pokes and threatens one person, the teacher doesn't see it. He comes back the next day, the teacher doesn't see it. Then he comes back the next day and takes the kids' lunch money, the teacher doesn't see it. What she does witness, what the teacher does witness, is the retaliation of the person to the bully after the lead up. And then this is the same thing they do with Russia. They don't show you what the EU does to put Russia in a certain state that requires them to respond, even as Russia puts them on blast. Russia metaphorically lets them know what they're doing. I'm going to move on. We'll wrap up shortly here. Breaking: Secretary Marco Rubio confirms he's ending the NGO foreign aid industrial complex. Amen. Foreign aid should be used for the purpose of furthering the national interests. That doesn't mean we don't care about human rights. That doesn't mean we don't care about starvation. That doesn't mean we don't care about hunger. It doesn't mean we don't care about humanitarian need. What it does mean, however, is that even foreign aid, which is not charity, is an act of the U.S. taxpayer. The United States and the taxpayer money should be spent in furtherance of our foreign policy. Should be spent in places that things further our foreign policies, and even that's not unlimited. We have a limited amount of money that we can delegate to foreign aid and assistance, and that's what we're doing. And that's we can play it in a way that furthers our national interest, and that's what we thought to do as well. This guy is awesome. I agree with
furthering the national interest.
Sentiment.
That doesn't mean we don't care about human rights. That doesn't mean we don't care about.
And he obviously kind of just goes, and that was a quote of what he's covering. And just lastly, I thought this was beautiful. I didn't know this was a thing. President Trump just signed an executive order making Christmas Eve and December 26th this year federal holidays. All agents and departments will be closed. I thought this was already the case. The fact that it's not is amazing. So what do you think? Back on the home front, we're looking at the repatriatization of America, and it's Wonderful time to be alive. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, share, and check me out at ConservativeRap.com for more. Thanks and take care.